All right. What is going on, TMG partners? I am so excited today to have a legend in this industry on the podcast with me, Byron Mathews. Good morning, Byron. How are you doing today?
Hey, Mike, how's it going, TMG peeps?
Yeah, doing good. So folks, I got to tell you, I've been in Tidewater for 10 and a half years now. And ever since I first started, the name Byron Mathews was always at the top of the list. So today I am so honored and just excited to have Byron and just thankful for him to join us today because when you think of successful people in this industry and treating seniors right and building a business and doing it the right way, the first person that pops in my mind is Byron because he's been that first person ever since I started. Byron is a producing Medicare broker, actually does more than just Medicare, but he's got over 5,000 people on the books. And, to be able to sit down with somebody like Byron and pick his brain and him share what they're doing, this is gold. So Byron, thank you for joining me.
Hey, thanks for the invite, Mike. This is amazing to be able to talk to your peeps. I see you got like almost 2,500 people following on the big forum, and that's amazing to develop that because you've only been doing this a few years, and people listen to what you say, and you help people grow their businesses. And if I can add a little value, I love it. It's great.
That's awesome. So Byron, tell us your story, man. Like, tell us about Byron and your business.
Okay. Yeah. So we got started 26 years ago. I started on the debit, collecting premiums and chasing people around. I was in Columbia, South Carolina in the heat with a full shirt and tie on. It was crazy mess. You walk around the projects. You guys have been through insurance school. You know what the debit is. Through the projects with $1,500 cash in your front pocket there because you have to change. And the first couple of days of the month, you got to get the money before they spend it. And, going from collecting after about a year, I said that there's got to be a better way. And I answered an ad in the newspaper, and there's a guy that had a slot in the payroll deduction for the state of South Carolina. So I went from collecting premiums to people that didn't really want to show up to pay cash to payroll deduction, which is probably the most stable way to pay a premium because it comes right out of your check before you get your paycheck. So in the state of South Carolina, that guy mentored me for 3 or 4 years. And then I got into the Medicare supplement business. A friend of mine told me about it, and I was a little skeptical at first, but I got started in that, and that's been amazing. About 99, 2000 was changing to supplements and started doing that. And then I had 2 customers cancel my plan. And I called them. I said, "What's up?" They said, "Well, we went to this $9 plan." I'm like, "What? There's nothing good for $9." And it turned out to be a company called Unicare. But I started studying it. And one of the big wigs from California came in and did a presentation. It was Medicare Advantage. And he explained that Medicare pays the companies to manage the claims. And that's why it's not only $9. The next year it went to 0 and freaked people out. But man, that was like giving candy to a baby, not even selling it, of course. And through referrals and stuff, we built up 2005 to 9. We built up a couple thousand customers and got things rolling really from that. Of course, it was a little easier back in the day. You could call people and you could get referrals and stuff. And the government has tied people's hands, that's their job, is to tie people's hands and make it harder for us. But you know what? If anybody wants to work hard and pound the pavement, do what they need to do, they can still do the same thing. So it's been good for us. So that's kind of the basis of where we got most of our start. And we see people turning 65. We recommend a supplement because it's your once in a lifetime chance to get it. And then the price goes up and it goes up and it goes up. And then they go to, typically at some point, they're going to go to Medicare Advantage because the savings and premiums, when they get really high, is going to pay for those copays. And so that's every year we move 100 plus people to Advantage plans, some years more than others. And we move people to whatever's the best. And so, but I think you wanted to talk to me about something we do like in the off AEP season so we can be productive. Is that what you wanted to talk about?
Yeah. So, Byron, when one of the most common questions we get from brokers is how do I write more business? How do I get in front of more people? How do I make it to where my business is thriving? And, there's something specific that you do during lock-in, right? In preparation for AEP, you just completed it and had a fantastic month, almost qualified for our incentive trip in 1 month. But Byron, tell this audience that's listening today what you did and what you always do during this a very short time and how that's impacted your clients and your business.
Yeah. So for the last few years, we came up with the idea that, everybody eventually, like I said, probably is going to end up on Medicare Advantage, unless you're a multimillionaire. When those premiums get to 200 and 300 and 400, these guys are retired. They don't have a continuous growing income. And so they go to Medicare Advantage. But in between, people love the supplement. People love the peace. I call it the peace of mind plan, Plan G, of course. And so we started analyzing our business. We keep an ACT database, and we saw a lot of people that we could find that were either old Plan Fs, which there's very few of those left in our business, or Plan Gs that after about 4, 5, 6 years, their premiums have gone up, and maybe they started at $85, $95, and now they're $145, or $195, depending on their age or whatever. And so we would send out a letter. So we sent out a letter, and I can give you a copy of it if you like, but it's just basically, hey, thanks for your business. We appreciate your trust. We're always looking for something that's going to help you save money. So, and then we'd include a copy of the health questions. This year we used Ellipse because that's, our big partner right now. We included their health questions, a couple pages. So it's basically the 2 pages of the health questions and an intro, and said, if you can answer all these questions appropriately, give us a call. And we can look at an alternative, the same plan, less money. If you can't answer these questions, call us anyway, because there's other options and stuff. And of course, this year I have a 5-star plan. So that's kind of what we do. And it turned out pretty good this year, for sure.
And the thing, and Byron, I want you to hit on this here in a second, but the one thing, I love a lot of things about what you guys are doing, but you're always looking to do what's best for the consumer, right? Yeah. So, in your marketing, it's, hey, it's the same plan. Let me see if I can save you some money, right? So, which makes perfect sense. If you can save somebody $200, $300, $400, some cases $500 a year, it's a no-brainer for the senior. Tell me more about that strategy for your business financially. So, sending out letters and doing all that work, that's a lot of work, right? Time is money. Yeah. So, would you mind just talking a little bit about, how that has impacted your business from a financial standpoint?
Sure. Well, and go back in history a little bit. What I said from 2005 to 2009, we put a bunch of people in the books with a plan called Unicare. And at the kitchen table, every one of them, I told them, if there's ever something better, I'll let you know. And then in 2009, Unicare started talking about going to a $40 premium from zero. A new plan called Cigna came in to the state of North Carolina, and it was zero premium and better copays to boot. So I figured, here's the problem. I've got like 1,500+ people just on that one plan. And I told them I'd help them if something better came out. And I realized if I didn't give them something better, we call them alien agents. This is my competitor. They're going to come in and steal them from me,
Yeah.
Like aliens sucking them off the planet, right?
That's funny.
If we didn't get them, they were going to go somewhere. So we spent the time and energy to move them. So that's when I really got to know Todd. I probably met Todd on email or something in 2007. Todd Fincher, president of TMG, whom I love, one of my best friends on the planet. And I said, look, I'm going to move like 1,500 people. And of course, he said he'd support me. He'll tell you today, he really didn't believe it, but we did. And we actually increased the number by a couple hundred. And so, but we rented a space. We literally rented a 1,500 square foot space. And because I wanted to stay true to my word and honor my commitment to my customers to always keep them in the best. Because you know what, if you give people the best plan at the best price, anybody can come along and offer them something. If it's not better, they're going to switch. And if it's the same, you've already got them. So they're going to keep your customers loyal. So I take care of them. They take care of me. Referrals are great. Our biggest referral right now, honestly, Mike, is the kids of our customers. If a lady has a baby at 20 when she's 85, her daughter's turning 65, and I'm getting them now because I've been at it 26 years. And so that's where because we took care of their parents for those 20+ years in some cases. So we moved a bunch of people, and Todd and I became really close at that point and been friends ever since. So, but yeah, the same thing with this fall letter. We sent out 350 letters. to the people that we found, okay, these people, if their price had gone $5 or $10 or $20, we didn't mess with them, but $30, $40, whatever, some of them more. Some of the Plan Fs that still were stubborn and wouldn't move, or they've gotten this letter in the years past, maybe they didn't respond. So it was about 350 letters. We had 49 people were approved, approved.
Wow.
We had 9 people declined, and we moved 10 people to a Medicare Advantage because the 5-star plan is available here in Western North Carolina. So some of those that were declined moved, some of them didn't. They want to wait till the fall. And then some people didn't. We knew from the beginning they weren't going to get approved, but we just moved them to the 5-star plan.
Wow.
So what was really cool about that, not only just moving 49 people and helping and plus the other 10 at Medicare Advantage, helping their life be better financially. Ellipse had a bonus this year. And for underwritten, I believe it's $225 for an underwritten plan. So you're going to make a new commission, which if it's 5 or 6 years till the commission, typically drops 2/3 on supplements. Most of these people were right at that mark. So our commission was going to go down anyway. So we started a brand new fresh commission at a little bit higher premium than original. So there's more money there.
Yeah.
But the 225 bonus for 49 people, that's over $11,000 bonus.
It's incredible.
So moving people to save all of them $200, $300, $400, $500 a year in their pocket. So it's a win-win-win. Can't lose. If you help your people, you can't lose.
That's awesome. Byron, you mentioned something when you and Todd became close and you had to move 1,500 people, and you also said you added a few hundred people there. That's another common question we get from brokers and concerns is, hey, I've got some disruption, or I got to move some people. It's a lot of work. And we've heard this from multiple brokers, and now including yourself, that when there's some disruption or when there's some movement, it actually creates growth too, because you're getting referrals. People are saying, oh, Byron just saved me all this money. So, we encourage people, hey, sometimes disruption and moving people is a really good thing. Because it creates growth, right? Momentum. So $11,000 bonus. And for the record, Byron was not paid or do an endorsement for Lumico. He's just stating the facts for Ellipse. But I mean, that's in 1 month. That's in 30 days. You got 11 on top of your commissions.
Well, the commission can be a pretty much a couple $100 a piece too. So it was a nice month.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic, Byron. So let's talk a little bit. So Byron, I've known you for 10 years. You've obviously been partnered with Tidewater for longer than that. But, one thing that I always love about you, and you've taught me this even since when I first started, was relationships, not just with your clients, but with carrier reps, your business partner, like we are with you. But talk about relationships, because I feel like as successful as you are and as great as you are, you're the best about building relationships. So tips and tricks, pointers, strategy, give it to us.
Well, let me give some big credit to my wife for one of our great ideas.
She's awesome. Martha's the best.
Byron Mathews, who threw out the first pitch on behalf of Humana at the baseball game last week, was awesome. She loves baseball. She was homeschooling at the time. This was about 2005-ish. My son was 5 at the time, so she's homeschooling. And she says, why don't we get Paul to call these customers? She dialed him, of course, handed in the phone. He sings happy birthday to my customers.
That's amazing.
At the time, that was 3-4 people a day. And he did it for about 5 years. And then my daughter, Victoria, when he was 10, she was 5. So he kind of retired at 10, and she started at 5 and started singing. And I got her for till about 14.
Yeah.
And so she sang happy birthday every day to customers. Now it's 7, 8, 9 customers a day probably. And then she retired at 14, and now she's 17. So we've actually hired her back to call the customers. She doesn't sing anymore, but she calls them. And we recorded a message from myself, my wife, Jessica, and Jody, who work with me in our team, which are also licensed agents now. That just transpired this year. They've been assistants doing paperwork and stuff, answering phones, but now they're licensed agents, so they can sell too.
That's awesome.
Anyway, we all said happy birthday. None of us really sang. And we found an old clip of Paul and Victoria singing happy birthday from when Victoria's like 2 or 3 years old. So we put a little video together. And so Victoria calls them. Hey, this is Victoria from Byron's office. Can we help you with anything? oftentimes people say, yeah, I've been meaning to call him. And so I'll of course get the message and call them and answer their questions. But then we send this little video attachment because everybody on their phone pretty much can click YouTube. They watch a little video of us saying happy birthday and my little kids singing again to them. So we've done that. We've done Christmas cards every year with the family picture. Some of them will watch my kids grow up.
Yeah.
And to be adults on the picture. For one guy said, you didn't have your kids in the picture this year. I said, yeah, I did. I said, no, you didn't. They're all adults now.
Yeah, crazy.
So, yeah. And so we just keep in touch. And so that's our customers. But relationships can go beyond that. We started developing, and this, in the seed of every adversity is a seed of equal or greater benefit in every adversity, right? That's Napoleon.
Love that.
So we had a big challenge in 06, 07 with that same carrier, Unicare, that, claims were getting missing. So we started developing relationships with every family practice, most of the specialists around here with their claims filers. And we had developed relationships with the companies. I had through several attempts, I'd finally found a guy at the Unicare that was in Wisconsin call center who would I could send him a claim and he would fix it every time. Wow. And so we took that partnership with the provider, the insurance provider, and the relationships we started building with all these doctors' offices and say, hey, if you got some problems, send them to us. We'll send it to a person that can fix it. We actually had an 1.5-hour conference call with the local hospital here in Haywood County with the VP and some of the main guys and attached them to some people at the insurance company. And they sent a big spreadsheet. They cleared up $250,000 worth of unpaid claims in about 2 weeks.
Wow.
And so you kind of become, just because you're helping a little extra, going an extra mile, you're helping create those relationships. So all those providers get Christmas cards from us. They see our kids grow up. We can call them if we need something. They refer people to us. I've got eye doctors. I've got different kinds of skin doctors and specialists. And I've got a lady that works in one of the family practices, and she got her dad on an Advantage plan, which she said she would never do, but his price just got so high. And because she saw the value of dad cannot have nothing but Medicare because there's no max out of pocket. So even though she hates Advantage plans because of her role in they're harder to deal with. We all know that. In the doctor's office, she was able to get him to that because she saw the value, because I had the value in my relationship to the practice. So you got your insurance companies, you got your providers, and of course you've got your customers. So word of mouth referrals, you mentioned disruption. A couple of years ago, Humana came out with the Honor Plan, and we had a lot of state retirees and paper mill retirees here and veterans that just had MA only. We just moved them to that Honor Plan. And when we did, they would tell their friends. And so we picked up some new business. Same thing is getting ready to happen. We have 428 people on Honor right now. Now here in the western part of the state, there's local PPO Honor that's going to double their give back. Yeah. So going into open enrollment now, we're going to move all those people and we'll pick up a bunch because they'll tell their friends about it. So you treat people right. You always look out for their best interest, not your commissions. And they're going to refer you to people. And, we don't do any advertising now. We get calls every week. All of our business is just people calling us literally every week.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Super blessed, super thankful to Jesus as the number one reason we need and the insights he's given us. I got to give him credit for that. So,
amen. Byron, it's, your story is great. And we're going down a rabbit hole here, but there's so much great content here. Talk about the unsung heroes of our industry, the spouses and the partners. And like you have the sweetest wife who is always at your side and supporting you and understands that, you're busy and she's part of your business. Oh, yeah. And, that's just another thing that I love about y'all's dynamic is you're a unit, right? And, it's something in this industry, not a lot of people talk about the importance of having a supportive spouse and understanding like how to prepare your spouse for AEP and what's coming up. And, I think so many people could just not only look up to you as a producer and somebody who's successful, but you're also a husband, you're a dad, you're son of Christ. Like, you're just somebody a lot of people can look up to, and you're an inspiration. Brian Adams, the CEO of Integrity, he said this in an event, and he said, don't look to impress people, look to inspire people.
Yeah.
And, that hit home, and it kind of reminds me of you, man. It's really cool. So, Byron, any last closing, advice or anything you want to give to the people listening today, whether it's business or just anything related, anything you want to leave for the audience today?
I think a lot of times people don't do enough thinking. I think sometimes you need to slow down, think about what you can do in an AP, and ideas will come to you. For me, it's Holy Spirit inspired, but ideas will come to you if you'll take time to start your day and say, what can I do better today to serve my customers? How can I help? Like this idea of saying, hey, just send a letter to these people that already have a supplement. They love a supplement, but the price is getting too high. That's just an idea. We meet in a gymnasium here. That's a Silver Sneakers. And we started going there. And the first year they charged us, we had like 17 days that we rented the space. And I came to him, I said, look, I'm bringing Silver Sneakers customers to you, which is the backbone of your business here. Maybe you can give me a better deal. And the next year they didn't charge us a dime, and they haven't for like 7 or 8 years. So
that's awesome.
So, you got to ask for something like that, though. You got to think about what you're doing to help people, like the gym, the management of the gym, which, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back, and, going the extra mile, thinking about your business. What can I do different? And just number one is keeping the customer first, not commissions, figuring out what's going to be the best for them. And they're going to love you. They're going to be loyal to you. Like my commercial said, I mean, it's relationships. I literally don't have to get into the minutia. I do not compare copays in the fall when you do open enrollment and I got this plan and it's going to save me $5 on my specialist. I don't care. Because when you have a $19,000 bill and the insurance company says you owe it, the hospital says you owe it, but you sit down with me and I take it to the hospital to the right person, because I know the girl, her name was Pam in that case. I say, hey, can you look at this bill? The lady owed $195.
Wow.
And I tell that story all the time because at 74, widowed, she's going to pay $100 a month beyond her lifetime for a bill she didn't owe because insurance company and hospital says she owed it.
Right.
But I sat down with her. I figured out the problem. And when you can develop trust and you can build the value of what you bring to the table for these people, then I don't care if they save $5 or $10 on a copay over here. They don't even care if, the honor plan gives them $50 back and another plan gives them $65 back. And I'll sell the other plan, but I also don't want to move them if I don't have to.
Yeah.
So I'm finding stuff that my value to the people is worth more than a couple bucks here and there in copay. Because honestly, if you compare all the Advantage plans out there, it's nickels and dimes better. This one's better, but that one's better over here. That's why I don't argue that. I will not even get into that with a customer. I said, if you don't appreciate the value that I bring, then go with JJ.
Yeah.
Go with Joe Namath on TV. And guess what? When you call them, you'll get some foreigner that doesn't speak English and will never sit down and look at that bill on a piece of paper like I did for that one lady. Yeah. And then you'll be wishing you had stayed with somebody local that you can trust.
It's awesome.
So that all just comes thinking about your business and putting the customer first, and God will give you ideas and just follow through with them, and he'll take care of the rest. And we've been blessed. I got to give credit to my team, Jessica and Jody. They work super hard.
They're awesome.
And my wife, Martha. In fact, I told her this, and I told the girls, we had a staff meeting on Monday. I said, what is your main role? And they said, to make Martha's life easier.
That's
Martha's
awesome.
doing everything, all the paperwork. And said, well, my wife, she does this, she does that. Make a few $100,000 a year so your wife doesn't have to go be a school teacher like my wife was, and she'll be happy to do a little bit of paperwork in the evenings and
there you go.
Full-time mom to raise your kids or something like that. So, but when we brought on these girls to help, their role was to do what Martha used to do, so Martha can have her time being more creative, more productive, and come also. I mean, she still does a ton of work in our business. I couldn't do it without Martha, but with the team, that's the whole family. And that's our approach. And we're thankful for it. And we're thankful for Tidewater, all the ideas that you bring, the way you treat us, just the thank you note you sent me the other day for talking to one of your agents and giving him some ideas. And you thought enough to write a thank you note handwritten to me was awesome. And Todd and Chad and all the people back at the home base there in Raleigh that runs this thing, I think we have a fantastic partnership. And if you're out there and you're just learning about TMG and you just got a contract or two, move as many as you can and tell your friends, because honest people that will bend over backwards to help you and make your life easier so you can succeed in a business that helps a lot of people.
We did not pay Byron to say that, for the record. Did not pay him. Well, look, folks, that everything you just heard is from a 26-year vet, the book of business of over 5,000 people. He now has employees that are on his team, building a successful business, doing it the right way with relationships. Byron's been through a lot. So for those of you, you'll probably see him at our Western North Carolina AEP kickoff meetings. Go over to him, give him a big hug, because he is remarkable. And just being able to capture him today and jump on and tell his story to everybody to inspire people. I'm so thankful. So Byron, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your partnership, and thank you. If I'm giving Martha a hug through the screen, but we appreciate you, man, and everything that you shared, and just thank you for all that you do.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you. Keep up the good work. Tell Todd and the girls and the guys there in Raleigh, hey for me.
I will, my friend. Thanks, Byron.
Yep.